Welcome to the Coaches Show, brought to you by Pulaski Electric System. I'm Steve Pierce, your host. Along beside of me, head football coach of the Bobcats, Walt Smith. Coach, last Friday night, right here at Sam Davis Park, Jack Deere Field, your first competition against our rivalry, Marshall County, and the Bobcats come away a victor, 42-21.
Yeah, it was a good night. Had a lot of festivities and things going on before the game and after the game, and with the seniors and all, and thought it was all around a good night for the community.
Well, before we get into the ball game, let's talk about senior night. Had a lot of compliments, people this week, about how you did it, not only with the seniors and their parents, but also honoring the teachers.
Yeah, I thought that was a good touch. Again, not only are the parents helping the kids get here, we've got some good teachers in our system that help the kids get to where they are every year and throughout their career. And this was just kind of a way to recognize those guys. Each senior got to pick a teacher that helped them get where they are today, and we recognized them before the game. I thought it was a good touch.
Yeah, and also had a lot of comments. The teachers were spread out across the school system, so I think they were from preschool all the way to high school teachers on the field.
There was some teachers all the way. I know several. One of them was a kindergarten teacher, and we had all the way up to teaching seniors in high school. Again, just it shows what all the kinds of levels make a difference in a kid. You never know when you're going to be that person to make that difference in a kid's life.
You talk about the ball game. You talked about it a little bit just a second ago. The festivities before the game. Experiencing your first Marshall County, Giles County game, could you sort of see the intensity maybe step up in the boys at practice and the crowd and everything?
Definitely. We didn't have to worry about getting the kids ready to go this week. They got themselves ready to go in practice every day. There's no doubt they were ready to play and look forward to this one for a long time.
Coach, you sort of set the tone early in the game. Initially, the Bobcats kick off right off the bat, go for an onside kick. It had to give the opposing coaches a lot of thoughts like, okay, this is going to be one of those nights where we're going to have to stay on their toes, but onside kick to start the game.
Yeah, they had done some things on film that we thought we could get it, and they actually didn't line up exactly like they had on film, but we still thought we could get it with a little opening there, and actually it was a perfectly executed kick. The ball was perfect, and as Chandler bent down to pick the ball up, he kicked it again, and it got away from him. But it's one of those things. I thought we executed it real well. We just didn't recover it at the time. Defense stepped up, did a real good job stopping them once we did that, and that's one reason why we felt like we could do it, is we felt like defensively we could hold them a little bit.
Let's just stay with the defense, Coach. Bobcats, basically the first string unit, for the most part, held Marshall County to 14 points. One of them being where Boone Gibson, your outside linebacker, actually got tied up with a receiver and fell down and gave up a long pass play. But if you take that away, it was an outstanding night for the Bobcat defense.
It was, other than that one play and then the one drive right before half. I thought it was maybe our best defensive night overall. They caught us in a pretty good coverage and got Boone matched up on their best receiver, and that's not necessarily the matchup we want, but he's been matched up in there before and done a good job. Friday night just kind of got his feet tangled up a little bit. It was just one of those plays, and they did a good job capitalizing on it. We talk about that all the time. But drive right before half, I thought we relaxed a little bit, not necessarily with effort, just on our technique-wise. We weren't executing what we wanted to do on defense that one drive, and they kind of took it down the field on us a little bit. But made some great second-half adjustments at halftime, and the kids did a great job picking those up and executing them in the second half.
Talking about Coach Barger and the defense, we've watched this defense. We knew there was so much potential there at the start of the season. And it's just like you're mixing a few more players in now. It seems like they're really buying into the new system.
They are, and again, it's one thing we feel like if we can make you one-dimensional, we can do something to really stop you, and that's what we're trying to do, is make teams one-dimensional so we can focus on that one dimension and stop it. And I felt like we've gotten better every week.
Coach, talk about in high school football, whenever you've got two corners and a safety back here, you've got Dontarius Gilbert back at the safety position, you got Cameron Ordway over at a corner, and then you either got Malik Lawrence or you've got Kenton Baker at the other corner. Being on defense and in high school football and being able to let them go one-on-one with receivers, how does that help you?
It's huge. Most people in high school play zone. just because they don't have the guys that can match up night in, night out. And we feel like we've got wide DBs that can match up with any wide receivers we play. And it helps us get that extra guy down in the box sometimes. And, if teams are tough running the football, it gives us a chance to get that extra guy down in the box and help us out.
Marshall County's quarterback, a senior, we knew coming into the ball game that he was just a very steady player and, real solid. He actually done a real good job the other night, especially you mentioned it right before the half on the drive. You look for those players to sort of pick the team up, the seniors, and that's sort of what he did on that drive.
It was, he was a little bit. We knew he looked strong and looked like a big, strong runner on film, but he was actually a little bigger and stronger than what we had expected on film. Smart kid, made sure he tried not to do things to put him in bad situations, and right there before the half, he did kind of take him on his shoulders. They had running back make a couple of dry runs, but he pretty much carried the mail the whole way down the field and put it in the end zone right there to get them back in the game where we thought they were on their heels.
Swapping over to the offensive side of the ball, after the game, I know one thing that you've really been working on was your offensive line. And you seem to be real happy with their progress last week.
Preston Ray, I felt like it was his best game of the year. Coming back from the concussion, he's finally starting to get in game shape. And I tell you, it seems like anybody we bring to the radio has a big game on Friday. So that's something we'll definitely need to think about this week. But I thought he had one of his better games, and starting to get back into the flow of things. And as a unit overall, I thought we did a good job. Jimenez, even though he's a tight end, Friday night he did a great job blocking. He even caught a pass, but did a great job blocking, and we were able to run the football and keep the ball on the ground for most of the night.
Talk a little bit about the play of Lucas Harrison. Lucas Harrison being a natural wide receiver, but with Trevor Holder battling some minor injuries here. Talk a little bit about Lucas Harrison stepping into that role and the job he did.
Yeah, Lucas is a lot of coaches when they put a backup quarterback in, they have to change the game plan. Both weeks that Lucas has got to start, we haven't changed the game plan at all. I've called plays and we've approached the game like we've got our starter in there because Lucas does such a good job running the offense. Friday night, like I said, at one time maybe we shouldn't have thrown a pass all night because we were able to run the ball on them like we did. But overall, Lucas was 8 of 12 with no interceptions and 112 yards passing. That's a pretty efficient night throwing the football too. So again, he's done everything we've asked him to do and stepped in, done a great job with Trevor being hurt.
Coach, most people across the country, initially it was called the Wildcat formation, a direct snap to a running back. Kenton Baker the other night running the Wildcat formation, you had a lot of success with it.
Yeah, we like to call it Bobcat just because we think Bobcat's a little better than Wildcats.
I'm glad you brought that up because on the radio I've had people ask me all week, they'd say, what is a Bobcat formation? And I said, well, it's what a lot of people call a Wildcat formation, but the two things first you can talk about is the Bobcat formation, and the other thing, you went back into the box down at the goal line to get a touchdown. Talk about both those formations.
Yeah, we think there's some things. Kenton, he's a special athlete that can do things with the ball that other guys can't do, and so we want to take advantage of that. We tried it a little bit, start of the game at Page, mixed in a little Bobcat formation. We changed the formation up a little bit and gave us a little different wrinkle, and felt like Friday night it was something we could execute, and I wanted to see it in the game because it's going to be something we use as we go down through the playoff run if we need it. But and in the box, I've got a lot of mileage out of that throughout my years of coaching. It's just when you've got guys that can move the ball, move people like we do. Trey Beats, I feel like he could probably be one of the better offensive linemen in our region too, and to be able to stick him in there at tight end to add to our offensive line, and Big Marcus and Langford back there in the backfield leading the way. I just think it's something good short yardage for us.
I know whenever you took over the helm of Giles County, one thing you talked about is getting ahead in the fourth quarter and being able to run the football and to pound on your opponent.
Yeah, again, the Friday night I felt like we did that. We owned the line of scrimmage for the most of the night, and they've got a pretty good defensive line and offensive line. I felt like we just wore them down. We were a little bit deeper, having our guys go one way. A bunch of our guys up front going one way, and they had a bunch of guys going two ways. And I felt like that was the difference in the game. They were a good football team. Obviously, they're going to the playoffs too. And I felt like it might be close for a while, but we would eventually wear them down. That's kind of what happened Friday night.
Coach, you had to be pretty happy with your special teams the other night. It seemed like they did a real good job, especially on kickoffs, getting down, good coverage on kickoffs.
Yeah, we're continuing to get better there, and part of it is, Chandler's, this is his first year ever playing football and kicking, and he's starting to understand the importance of putting the ball where we need it to be on kickoffs so our coverage can be set up to cover a kick in that area, and kicking extra points and field goals and punting. I thought he did a great job punting Friday night. A lot of teams going into Marshall County, they pretty much concede the special teams area because they've got the number one kicker in the nation. But I felt like it was an area Friday night that we won the special teams battle Friday night, and it was the difference in the game.
Yeah, extra points was huge. Marshall County missing their first extra point attempt, and then the Bobcats coming back and just steady the whole game, making theirs.
Yeah, again, he definitely the kid from Marshall County got a strong leg. Kicking the ball through the uprights on the kickoff, but you don't get any points for that. You got to do it after a touchdown, and that was one place where they missed one. And again, we were just like you said, steady all night. Thought they underestimated us punting wise most of the night, and we were able to get a few over their heads and get some big rolls and flip the field on them a couple times early in the second half when our offense seemed to sputter a little bit.
There you go, Coach. Now the Bobcats, they finish the regular season 8-2. You look back on it now, you come on board with the Bobcats, you don't even know where your desk is, you don't know any of the players' names, you've got 3 days before spring practice starts, you go through the summer, you start the season, and here we are 8-2.
Yeah, it's it seems like a long time ago, actually in May. August seems like it's just flown by since we got here in August, but May seems like a long time ago, but really it wasn't. And again, it's just a credit to our kids and the staff we were able to assemble. Anybody would be happy with 8-2, but under the circumstances we were in, 8-2, we're always obviously want to win all the games, and we're not satisfied with 8-2. We want to make a run here in the playoffs and go after a trip to Cookeville. But 8-2 is a good season for anybody, especially under the circumstances we were under.
Yeah, I think it's like the old saying, time flies when you're having fun, and I think that's what a lot of fans and stuff are seeing now is everybody's getting used to the system, the coaches getting used to each other. Bobcats, they're playing tough, but they're having a lot of fun out there on Friday night.
Yeah, it really does seem like it. I feel like our energy is there. We come out ready to play most nights, and again, the kids, it's credit to them. They've started buying into the program and are starting to catch on, to all the things and are able to play fast now.
All right, you mentioned it earlier. The Bobcats now head into the TSSAA 4A playoffs. Bobcats getting placed in the west side of the division. First opponent up, Chester County. Tell us a little bit about Chester County, Coach.
Well, they finished the year 4-6. Finished second in their district, though they played a lot of non-region games that were tough, and that affected their schedule a little bit. But from what I've understood, they're a young team. Run a shotgun wing tee, kind of a wing tee out of the shotgun. They'll look like a spread team a lot, but most of their plays are based out of the wing tee. Defensively, they mix it up between a 4-4 and a 3-4. Mix their coverages between cover 3 and cover 2. We've got a couple of good athletes. The quarterback's a really good, tall, lanky kid that can run the football and throw it pretty good. And they've got a couple of running backs and wideouts that get after you also.
Talk about their special teams play, Coach.
Special teams, they're about what you expect out of a 4A playoff team. They're going to be solid most nights. Again, it's an area that we definitely need to win. It's a third of the game, and we've got to take advantage of anything we can on special teams. But they start a lot of sophomores on offense and defense and special teams, and that's one thing I think we might could take advantage of is some of our experience being in those games before and them not having been.
One thing now, the Bobcats are in a situation is every week you win, you advance. If you lose, your season's over with, Coach. The Bobcats want to talk about this, how important it is for the 12th man to be down here Friday night, because unless somebody gets upset, this could very well be our last home game.
Yeah, it's we could definitely go on the road next week unless an 8 seed beats a 1 seed. So we definitely, everybody here anytime we play. People don't understand how much the kids feed off the crowd when they get loud, and the kids can sense it down on the field. As a coach, you can sense it down on the field. It's electric on our sidelines a lot of times, and we definitely need them every time we're out here.
So there you go. This Friday night at 7 o'clock, Chester County travels over from West Tennessee to face your Giles County Bobcats right here at Sam Davis Park, Jack Deerfield. First round, TSSAA playoffs. You know, that's when you start the season, Coach, you talk about the playoffs, and it's here.
It is. It is. You know, when the ground starts turning brown and the weather starts turning cold, you know it's time for playoff football, and that's where we're at.
There you go. The Bobcat Band of Gold will be here. The cheerleaders will be here. I can guarantee you the Bobcat football team will be ready to go, and the staff, Coach Mark Carden, the principal, and the teachers, the support of the community. It'll be electric here Friday night.
I think so. Again, this is what it's all about. This is what you play for. This is what you practice all those long hours in August, is to make it to the playoffs and then be able to compete in the playoff games as you go and make a playoff run trying to get to Cookeville. And so we want everybody out here to help us make that run.
There you go. Friday night, everyone, come down, support your Bobcats. This has been the Coaches Show, brought to you by Pulaski Electric System. We will see you here Friday night, 7 o'clock. First round, TSSAA playoffs, beat Chester County.